right. I've tried that 3 times. That's as close as I'm going to get to it. But playing note for note. Oh, by the way, that's a new camera. So maybe it won't search in and out. But it doesn't have as wide of a lens to it. Let me try something here. La-dee-dee-dee-da. Go back was better. Okay. Leave that alone. Playing note for note. TR, Wicked Fester, said something about, I play it my way. I don't play it note for note. Who does? Some people do play things note for note. I see covers on YouTube where people play absolutely note for note perfect on stuff, and it's like, wow. Mind blown. I don't have the patience for that. I'll get as close as I can to something. Now that solo right there, the only way I was able to learn that solo is because I sang that solo to myself so many times in my head from the time the record came out, which was in the 60s, and I was like 10 or 11 or whatever it was. It went to #1. It was all over the radio. You heard it everywhere. I bought the Best of the Guess Who album. I heard that solo for years. And then I started working on it. It took a long time to figure that out. Because at first, when I was a kid, I thought it was a violin. Because he had the tone rolled off. And because of Randy Bachman's perfect vibrato that I can't do. I thought it was a violin, and when I finally realized, it didn't take too long, but I realized it was a guitar. And for years and years and years, I worked on parts of that solo. And finally, about 15 years ago, when I first found YouTube, I found a video of a guy playing that solo, and he went through it. And I had trouble getting through that video, so I ended up getting it as close as I could, and that's it. And I made a couple flubs in there that I'm like, I'm not stopping this and starting it for a 4th time. I'm just going to play through it and do it. But when people do covers, even Van Halen, when they did covers, they didn't do Really Got Me, note for note. Can you imagine somebody going to Eddie Van Halen, hey man, you're playing The Who wrong. Or Pretty Woman, hey man, you're playing Roy Orbison wrong, You're playing it wrong with that. I got the tone rolled off. Can you imagine telling him he's playing it wrong? Yeah. So, and part of soloing is knowing how the guitar and the fretboard and the instrument work, so that you can work through something if you know what key it's in, and you know how to stay in that key. You can work something out. It's not going to be exact. People, I see these video shorts of this one guy. I don't know who he is because I watch the videos, but I've never looked at his channel. I just look at the videos when he comes up. And it's my girlfriend's reaction when I play this crazy solo, and a lot of times it's a Steely Dan solo. And I think he did Sultans of Swing. That's another one, Sultans of Swing, that I figured out by ear when Linda and I first got together. We had just gotten together, and she was working, and I was working construction, but I had a day off, and I had just gotten in a new band. And in one day, I sat with a record player dropping that needle and lifting that needle with the lever and lift the needle up and drop it and move it back a little and drop it, move it back. I figured out Sultans of Swing my way with no help from any YouTube or anybody, and I've played it the same way forever. And but anyway, soloing, people telling you you're playing it wrong, get out of here. Let me hear your version, buddy. So TR mentioned that, and and then he plays Eruption. It's like, I'm not gonna tackle that. He plays the solo to Crazy Train. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't even attempt it. There's stuff that I won't even attempt because I listen to it and I'm like, nah. Especially at this point in my playing career, I'm not going for it. I thought I did good with Classical Gas and that Heart intro and Wichita Alignment and a couple other things. I thought I was doing pretty good right there. Learning new stuff with new challenges. Figure out Classical Gas if you need something to challenge you. Some of you might be so good that you just blow right through it, but I had tried like years ago to learn that song and just gave up like in a half an hour, 45 minutes. I gave up and I said, oh Christ, I'm not going to get this. And when I came back, just recently and came around and tried it, it was like a whole different feel, and I got through it. The same thing with that Heart thing. I used to think it'd be impossible for me to play. Well, it is impossible for me to play the way she does it, but the way I do it with a flat pick and a few fingers here and there, it's not impossible. It's not 100% correct, but it's not impossible. That brings me to my next subject, earworms. Do any of you have I'm not going to call it a problem, because it's not a problem, but do any of you have the trait where the last song you hear will stick in your head and you will sing it, and sometimes it could be for hours because you don't hear another song, whether it be on the radio or on YouTube or whatever, and like you're driving down the road and you got the music on and you pull into your driveway and there's a song playing, and sometimes it's a really good song and you'll sit there and wait till the song's done before you shut the car off. That song will be in my head until I hear another song. If I'm making a cooking video, I'll be whistling that song while I'm cooking. And that's why you've heard me whistle some really strange stuff in my cooking videos while I'm chopping stuff. I don't make videos like that anymore. I do them a different way than I did when I first started trying to make cooking videos. I should have made one today because I made brajol, which is an Italian dish. Look it up, brajol. I had brajol. I usually buy it and slice it up real thin for like pepper steak or stir fry. But I decided this time to use it for what it's really for. It's time consuming, but it's a little easier than like veal or chicken parmesan. There's a few less steps to it, but there's some ingredients. But it's really, really good, and Linda loved it. But anyway, so the earworm that gets stuck in your head. Sometimes, heaven forbid that the last song you heard was Sugar Sugar. or something like that, and you got that freaking thing stuck in your head, because that'll happen. That's what happens. It'll be the last thing I heard will get stuck in my head. Anyway, so playing note for note. Don't worry about it. Don't aspire to it. You can if you want, but if you're good enough and you want to challenge yourself, come up with your own way of playing stuff. That's what the rock stars do. That's how they do it. All right. Today's Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Everybody. Oh yeah, and again, if you could, jump over to my Patreon. Join me over there for $1 and see what's going on, hear what's going on. That's all it takes, just a little bit. You can bow out anytime you want. You can quit. But I'd love to have you over there. The more people I see, the more content you get. So, all right. That's my video. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it. And I'll see you guys on the next one.